Morning, everybody. How you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. I'm Sean, but there's the one that you come to see, Bugsy Malone. She is doing the things that she loves, patrolling for squirrels. I hope you're doing your own version of squirrel patrol and you're keeping happy and healthy in the process. Please, guys, do me a favor. I'm really sorry about the wind. Can't find my pop filter on my microphone, so I'm going to have to try and dampen it out after, but I apologise. Please do me a favour though, like the video if you enjoy the content, and only if you enjoy the content. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Join the 17,800 Tottenham fans that have gone before. Welcome back to them. Welcome to the new. Hit the notification bell and drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts on today's topic. We're about to walk through a moo-off here. It's Tottenham fans against Arsenal fans in the form of cows. These lot are having a crack at this lot. No one's happy. Yeah, all right, mate. You made your point. They're talking about whether or not Tottenham are going to win the North London derby this coming weekend. And guys, I've done a video for that already today. It's already out, so if you haven't seen it, then take a look on the channel and you'll find it. I want to know your thoughts on that one, but I also want to know your thoughts on this story too. And that is that Celso is unhappy at Tottenham Hotspur. The story is from Fijaches. I don't know how you say the name of that Spanish outlet, but it is the same outlet that the other day, do you remember I did a video on Mikel Merino, the Sociedad 6? Well, he plays in the double pivot, but very strong player, very tall, great passer, great technicalities, just a little bit slow. The story that Fijaches put out then was that Tottenham are looking to replace both Højbjerg and Lo Celso, and Merino is the guy who targeted. And that's fine for me if that is the replacement for Højbjerg. Personally, for the life of me, I can't remember his name this morning, but I spent a long time this summer talking about the other side of the double pivot at Sociedad. Can't remember his name. I'll put it on the screen. He would be also someone that I wouldn't mind seeing coming in. But there's loads of sixes out there that if we do need to find someone to cover for Højbjerg, I'm happy to take the risk on. But today's story is actually about Fijaches coming out this morning and doubling down on the Lo Celso part of the story, saying that he is unhappy. They're quoting unnamed sources, which, well, that is what it is. But they're saying that he's unhappy about broken promises regarding game time. He hasn't seen enough minutes and he wants out as soon as January. And look, first and foremost, I don't know whether unnamed sources is just a buzzword for made up nonsense. It's not exactly a new story to hear that Lo Celso is unhappy. First of all, he's always been unhappy at Tottenham. He's an unhappy type of player generally. And it's not also the first time we've heard this season that he's promised minutes that weren't given, or that haven't been given. But he was given the time against Fulham. Didn't play well, although you could make the argument that we haven't seen him play in a competitive game for long enough with other kind of A-team players playing alongside him, which is always kind of part of the problem I had with Ange's stance, his first initial take on why he played the B team against Fulham, which was, how will I know if they're good enough unless I see them play? But how are you ever going to judge whether a B team player is good enough for the A team if you're only ever playing them in the B team wearing A team shirts? Anyway, that's for a different conversation, or it's already a conversation we've already had. But he didn't play well in that game. He didn't play well, particularly in the game, was it Manchester United or Bournemouth? I forget which game he came on in the final 20 minutes and didn't do particularly very much. Look, if he's unhappy and the story's true, you don't want people pulling in the opposite direction to you. You want everyone pulling in the same direction. Sonny has said it over the last 48 hours. Arsenal don't want to play us right now. You know, we're playing for each other. We're a family. I haven't got the quotes in front of me. Maybe I'll put them up so you can see them in case you haven't. But essentially saying the team spirit amongst us is fantastic. And if it's true that Lo Celso isn't happy, then maybe it is best to kind of let him go in January, or let him go should the right offer come in. And there's obviously quite a few Spanish teams that are still sniffing around trying to get that deal done. For me personally, but I get it that if on a personal level, it's difficult to want to pull in the same direction as the team if the team doesn't really include you. It's difficult to divorce your own personal ambitions, your own kind of selfish ends. I'm not saying selfish in a bad way, just people always thinking about themselves primarily. That's just life, human nature. It's difficult to divorce yourself from that situation. You know, whether or not he deserves the minutes, in his mind he'll say he would be, or he does. I think you'll find most Tottenham fans would say Maddison's playing too well to risk upsetting the apple cart. So that's the story. Lo Celso wants out. And obviously Mikel Merino isn't going to be the guy to replace Lo Celso. Lo Celso is playing back up to Maddison. But you know what? If we are going to go and get a player in this, I don't think it would happen in January, by the way. I think it would be too expensive and too difficult. But there is a player that I think it's a match made in heaven for Tottenham, given the circumstances that might end up prevailing with regards Lo Celso, and also with regards Ivan Perisic. Perisic is playing really well, coming off the bench, teaming up with Richarlison. Wonderful asset to have, but his contract is running out. I think he'll be 36 by the time it's gone, maybe even older. I'd be very surprised if he's given another year. And so Tottenham will be looking for, in the event that Perisic leaves and the event that Lo Celso leaves, a rotation / backup number 10 and a rotation / first choice left winger to compete with Manuel Solomon. And there's only one player that I think really fits that bill, that elevates us, where he is as good as Maddison, or could be as good as Maddison in the 10. So if Maddison gets injured, there's no real drop-off. And certainly is better than Solomon, although different, as a left winger. And that is Eberechi Esse. And I think everybody is preparing themselves for a bidding war for Eze in the summer. It's likely he's going to leave. And it's likely he's going to cost a lot of money. And I've got to be honest, I want to shout out to J-Rated R or J-Rated X. He's on Twitter, but he's also been on the channel once. He's often on Time Added On. He put together a really interesting kind of story, I guess, like a thread, as to why Eze is destined for Tottenham. And I kind of liked it. So I'm going to talk about that just now. So the kind of pitch for Eze is as such. If Tottenham continue in the vein of form that we have, and we have a good season, and we qualify for the Champions League, then that is a very compelling reason for Eze to put Tottenham on the shortlist of a long list of potential suitors. The fact that he can stay in London is a compelling reason to a lot of people. Maybe not to everyone, but it's on the list of things, on the pro list. Ange Ball, pro list. He'll love playing that sort of football. It really suits him. The fact that he's guaranteed minutes, pretty much guaranteed minutes, in a team that has a superior chance of success than most of the other teams who would also offer superior chances of success, where you're going to get less minutes, or against other teams where you'll get more minutes but have a less chance of success, is also a compelling factor, because he will always play either in the 10 if Maddison's injured or needs a rest, and hopefully next season we'll be playing 2 games a week and we'll be more competitive in cup games as well as Europe. But on top of that, I think he would absolutely start ahead of Solomon, although they're different types of players offering different sorts of skill sets, which again is what Ange looks for. I think that is a compelling factor. I would also say that there's not that many other top teams that will be able to offer him those same assurances. Let's look at the teams that probably don't need him. Although you can make the argument that every team would want to have an Eze, in terms of like how desperate are you for someone. Do Arsenal really need him off the left when they have Martinelli and Trossard, and through the middle when you've got Odegaard? Probably not quite as much. I would say Arsenal need something else. For me, I think they need to focus their attentions on getting an absolute monster number 9 and maybe some reinforcements elsewhere. But so I would say Arsenal is probably in less need of someone like Eze. Chelsea, who knows what Chelsea's squad will look like by next summer, but you could make the argument that they already have quite a lot of talent in that kind of, midfield sort of role. And really, I think the argument against Chelsea is just that they're a mess. I've been saying it since Todd Boehly arrived, that this guy is, throwing money at the system doesn't necessarily equate to having a coherent plan, and it doesn't look like they have one. And to me, I think that Chelsea are going to continue to struggle. I think that Todd Boehly will increasingly react rashly with his decision-making around potentially sacking managers or whipping out the team again, because whilst they can manipulate the FFP to stay within the realms of legality, he's still £1 billion in the hole. And the team looks no better, no more cohesive or gelling than they did last season. So if I'm Eze, I don't know if I want to join that shambles at the moment. Although, of course, we're still 9 months away from seeing how that season finishes for them. And obviously, it's too early to tell. Do Liverpool really need an Eze? They've got a brand new midfield that's, doing really, really well. They've got their attacking midfielders. They've got McAllister who can play up there. They've got Szoboszlai. On the left-hand side, they've got, Luis Diaz. I'm not entirely sure if they need a player like Eze, although if they do sell Mo Salah, they're going to need to make some statement signings to replace him, and maybe, just maybe, they'll find space. So there's an argument there. Manchester United. I don't think Manchester United are a team that you'd want to join right now, personally. But also, when you look at their squad, they're full up with 10s. I always say it's a Swedish nightclub. They've got too many 10s. Mason Mount, Fernandes, competing for the same spot. So Eze's not really going to find room there. And out on the left, they've got two great players in Garnacho and Rashford. So is it a natural fit? Probably not. Manchester City, do they really need another Eze? Maybe, but is he going to get that many minutes? Certainly on the left, they've already got Grealish and one or two others that are coming through. And in the 10 role, I guess they're eventually going to need a replacement for Kevin De Bruyne, but is that going to be the answer? We'll have to find out. I just think that when you factor in all of the different variables around game time, access to the first team, London, Champions League, hopefully, playing the certain style of football, and the final piece de resistance on the argument, guys, I'm going to put it up now shamelessly, this video should probably belong on Shameless Football, is the picture that was sent around on Twitter of Sonny and Eze. Some people would say dressed to the nines. I'm not a fashion guy, as you can tell. I just wear black all the time. But to me, they look ridiculous. But in any event, Sonny and Eze at London Fashion Week looking like their best mates, having the time of their lives. And to me, if you're Sonny, you're getting in his ear and saying, hey, bud, make sure you think long and hard about where you're going to go and make sure that Tottenham is your destination, because we are a team that is playing and pulling in the same direction. We're a family. Remember all those things I said about this a few minutes ago on the video. So, I don't know. To me, I just feel like it's a bit match made in heaven. And there's probably more value in the value proposition for him to join Tottenham than to join most of the other clubs that we're competing with. I don't think he's going to go to Aston Villa. I don't think that Newcastle United are the same outfit this year. Second season syndrome, you know, teams getting a little bit closer to finding out the Eddie Howe model. Some of those players that just played through their ceilings last year coming back down to earth with a gravitational pull. Not sure why Newcastle are struggling, but they certainly are. And for me, I just think that Tottenham make the most sense. Let me know your thoughts though, guys. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, bye-bye.